Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091, and welcome back to Let's Play Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. Last time we left off, it seemed that we were really getting on Kristoff's case now, and well, Phoenix, he took the reins of the defense once again. You know, it's kind of nice having him there next to me. So now we kind of reconstructed the crime scene and tried pointing out all those contradictions, and that so far we say can only be possible. So now there is one more contradiction here. So we're saying the killer must have been here to strike the victim in the front to make him bleed out onto the card on the back here. And the thing is, the only way he could be here is if the cupboard was moved to the left. But here's where the contradiction in this part comes into play. Look at the second witness. Apparently that was Kristoff, who said he saw everything through a little hideaway window, which is located right here. But how could he see anything if the cupboard was supposedly there? Get it now? About this cupboard, are we all okay with assuming it was moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover up the window to the stairs. Ah! That's right. Somebody standing outside wouldn't have been able to see in. Someone like Mr. David. What? What did you say? Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? If you've been paying attention on Kristoff's face, he's getting a little twitchy there. Looks like he might blow up in a little bit. It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness a crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order! This is a court of law and I will have order! We just received word from our investigating team at the Porch Boat Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? And what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there's a secret passage behind it. What? Ah, of course. Ah, yes, I believe I mentioned something of that sort before. This is one of the tricks in the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're engaged in illegal goings-on, whatever the hell it said. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage. Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. So, are they really claiming what we're thinking here? You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? I see it, but I don't want to believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed his trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few moments between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something! Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. Oh, come on, that's kind of corny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then a chance came, and he took it. I guess so. Boom! Wait a minute. Well, someone got hit there. Wait! Why did you do that? Wait, I'll get help. That must have been Phoenix right there. Miss Ogor really was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shade Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out from the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard a cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look and... Okay, that would make sense. After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized he needed to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red. Ugh! Oh boy. This doesn't look good at all. It's kind of weird, actually. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne! Yeah, yes, Your Honor. The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. God! Yes, that's how you do it, guys. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid the circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest. Immediately. Oh, come on, you stop fighting, man. Stop fighting. Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber will be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick. Excuse me? The defendant is cleared of all suspicion? This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. He hasn't? What he has done is use illegal evidence to point the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney. Illegal evidence? Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin, is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance. The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking. How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes, the fingerprints in the bottle were, upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier. The court, in this case, demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down. And that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor? See how the caught fish squirms to the last? Well, Apollo? Yes? Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still, but I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there. In plain sight. How about you just say the answer in plain words? Yeah, it's never that easy. It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions, indeed. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Gavin said the court and this case demand an explanation. Don't worry, justice won't leave until justice is done. Oh boy, that's another corny thing. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten this court? What evidence do you have to explain why fingerprints fingerprints on a bottle are upside down? Okay, well, let's look at the photo taken by Olga. Now, you might be thinking, well, there's nothing really wrong here, you know? What's the problem here? But look where Phoenix is sitting. You know, he's sitting down, relaxing, talking to the guy, whatever. But you'll notice that there's a crate of the wine, or the grape juice, right next to him. Now think about it. When you want to go down and reach and grab a bottle of grape juice, people's hands tend to be upside down and they're grabbing it like that. In other words, it would look like, you know, his fingerprints are going to be upside down that bottle, on top of the bottle. Not that he was going to hit someone with it, but because he wanted to pick it up so he can drink it. You know? I mean, I do that. I mean, a lot of people do. It's actually easier to show you than to explain, Your Honor. Please step out on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? Yes. Now reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair. Ah! See? You naturally go to pick up the bottle by its neck. With your fingerprints upside down! There you go. Just as I said. Look at the photograph taken the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on a floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Wow, I can't believe it was that simple. Recall our dinner that evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then, too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed, but then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Oh boy. Order! 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 What do you have to say for these charges, Mr. Gavin? Fascinating. So this is legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection. What? You claimed I switched the bottle? Where is your proof? Proof? Well, that's, as I thought. More baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiated an investigation in the hideout earlier, did you recall requesting an additional investigation? Yes, I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Borscht Boat Club. And here's one of the bottles in question. What, are you gonna dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any were on that but his. Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo... Yes? Why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle? But why? Just humor me. I kind of like that serious look on Phoenix. He's like, just humor me, you know? It's like, just just listen more what I had to say, boy. Come on now. Mr. Wright? That bottle will solve his case once and for all. What? That's some bottle. So it's gonna solve the case? Okay, I mean, it looks normal. Oop, up, there goes the options. It looks normal. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. As you can see, there's clearly something in there. There's something inside the bottle. Boom. Wow, it doesn't make that cork like that. It didn't make that noise. Well, it's a screw-off cap, so I'm stupid. All right, I'm sorry. What's this? That card! It can't be! Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga O'Reilly? Yes, our little swindling Dovichka. Dovichka, whatever you want to call him. Okay, we saw this flashback. That was a good yawn. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planet card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? Yes, oh god, we know. He took the card, got rid of it before the game played, and he put it in one of the in one of the bottles. Get it? See? And an empty bottle, and he just plopped it right in there. There you go. The Five of Hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the fourth person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh. Uh-oh. 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 What the hell? Was he going Super Saiyan there? You know, like when the rocks be flying and floating up and whatnot? I didn't even know they still left that borscht, you know, on the floor and whatnot. That is all. Booyah, bastard. Is This your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright? Revenge? Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic. Straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right? Head-on-head, you know, French. This is insane! What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone? Shut up, Winston. My God, you're annoying. I believe this time we've finally come to an end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he? None that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. Not a profession, to be sure, and that's all we know about him. I'll arrange for a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years. You still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man of much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, his courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? A dark time is coming for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our very own court system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright. Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. Does that mean I get to say my famous line? This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty. Woohoo! Confetti in the courtroom! It came back! Ah, I missed that. I remember in the last game, it kind of jipped me on my confetti, and I got pissed off. Ah, well. Court is adjourned. That is that, guys. That's our first case. Finished. Awesome, right? Thanks, Apollo. You came through just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... Yeah, that thing where he perceived that thing, you know? It's kind of weird. How does Phoenix know about it? I mean, his ability was kind of like the Psych Lock, and that was pretty much because of Maya and Pearl. Wait, what was that, Mr. Wright? You have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer... Right. Today was full of questions without answers, most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in the days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know, do you? This locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me, I met the girl whose picture is in your pocket. Your locket, whatever. Your daughter, right? That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Huh? I took this off... Oops, there goes my phone. I took this off his neck the night he died. But it looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, but that's perjury! You testified! You said that locket was yours! I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then... Why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. Still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo, yes? How about coming to work for me? Hey, you mean at the Wright and Company Law Offices? I mean, that's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but wait, didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore. But why? That incident 7 years ago? That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. But what happened 7 years ago? What happened after trials and tribulations? Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in a court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick. One piece of evidence that struck me as odd is true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I bet this was a forged evidence. Wait a minute, he can't be... Well, this thing came out of nowhere. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Leaving the wrong card in its place? Luckily for us. See, you've got to be kidding me. So, was he right? It really was illegal? My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then, you really... Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney! Who's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo? So, it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago... None of that matters much now, does it? Ugh. Ugh. Did you just punch the... You... I punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. Mr. Wright? Oh, about your uppercut? Try yelling, "Take that!" next time. I find it packs a little bit more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved, and at the time I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day connected by a single thread of logic. And I find that out soon enough. My name's Apollo Justice Attorney at Law, and this is how my story begins. And just like that, guys, that is the end of Case 1, Turnabout Trump. There you go. I was wondering, what's the name of the damn episode again? There we go. So yeah, so sure enough, yeah, Phoenix forged a piece of evidence. How can he do such a thing? He's Phoenix Wright. Well, like you said, he's not an attorney anymore. I guess that 7 years ago. But then, did you listen to what Apollo said? He's like, those rumors are true. So, what rumors was he talking about? I mean, he was talking about, you know, he found out that Phoenix forged the evidence, so what were the rumors about him leaving were because of forged evidence? Who knows? there's a lot of questions here that need to get solved, and well, the thing is, we're not really going to get to the bottom of this case until a while. So just stay tuned and hold on for really more crazy trials. So yeah, guys. So next time we're gonna go ahead and start Turnabout Corner, and well, now we're gonna start seeing a little bit more of our different gameplay mechanics in Apollo Justice. I mean, some of them were introduced before, kind of in other Phoenix Wright games like the Investigation and whatnot. But well, I don't want to spoil too much, but we'll have fun. How about that? So next time, like I said, we're gonna start the new case and see what's gonna happen. So as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. I'll see you guys later.